Hi everyone. Today we're going to go over how to get started with Adobe Premiere Pro and using this app to blur student faces in videos. So the first thing we're going to need to do is make sure that you have downloaded Adobe Creative Cloud. If you haven't done that yet, you're going to want to go and get that from Software Center and download Adobe Creative Cloud. Then we're going to get logged into Adobe Creative Cloud and we're going to use our Google single sign-on. And we're going to identify ourselves as a company or school account, and then head back to Adobe Creative Cloud. This should relaunch it again here in your desktop app, and it's going to bring up all of the Adobe suite that you have available to you here in the Hillsborough School District. That includes everything from Adobe Creative Cloud to Adobe Premiere Pro or Adobe Rush, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Lightroom, and all the breadth of the Adobe tools. The one we're going to focus on today is Adobe Premiere Pro. Adobe Premiere Pro is Adobe's most robust video tool, and it offers a very unique tool for blurring student faces that we're going to explore today. So you're going to go in here, you're going to find Adobe Premiere Pro, and you're going to install this. You're going to see it's going to take some time to install here, and you can watch that. And as soon as it's done, we'll go ahead and launch the program and get started. Okay, while we're waiting for Adobe Premiere Pro to download, we're going to talk about the easiest tool to use to capture your screen as you are recording off of a security camera or other footage similar to that. I encourage you to use Canva. You're going to log into Canva and you're going to say create and select a video from the left here for your video design. Once you're in here, you're going to navigate to the left here to uploads, record yourself. You're going to say just your screen. You're going to say what you're going to record, and then you're going to click record, and it's going to give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown. Say save and exit, and when you save and exit, you will find your designs or your videos in your projects here. You can navigate to projects, then navigate to videos. You're going to find the video that you created, then download. So you can click on the 3 dots and say download to your device, and that's what we're going to import into our program today for Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, Adobe Premiere Pro is ready to go, so we're going to go ahead and open and launch the program. All right, first thing we're going to do is we are going to start a new project. You can title this project whatever you want. I'm going to title mine Video 1 because I'm super creative. Begin to say create. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to select the media that we want to import. So I'm going to go to my downloads. My Video 1, 2, and 3. These are the 3 video clips that I have ready. So I'm going to import these into my project. All right. The easiest thing to do here is I'm going to go ahead and close our Learn panel. If this pops up for you, you don't need it. And I'm going to first identify what workspace I want to work in. For those of you who are new to Adobe, we're going to begin with our starter one here. So we're going to go to starter at the very top. This is our workspace. So you can see my whole screen has rearranged itself here. This is my starter workspace. All of my video clips were added to my timeline, but I don't necessarily need those right now. I'm just going to start with one, so I'm going to delete them from my timeline. The next thing I want to do is I want to add from my windows here to my workspaces, I want to add my effects controls. Effects controls, you'll see that populate right over here, and we're going to come back to this in just a moment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first video that I have here that I want to begin to edit and blur a student's face. I'm going to take that video and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it to my timeline. I'm going to say change sequence settings. All right. Once we're getting started, we're going to go to our effects panel. and we're going to type in mosaic. Mosaic is going to bring up a couple of presets, but we're looking for the stylized mosaic, and we're going to take this mosaic word and we're going to click on it and we're going to drag it onto our video. The top layer is your video, the bottom layer is your audio, so we're going to drag it onto our video and we're going to release it. You're going to see it pixelates the entire screen. We're only looking for a student face, so I'm going to go over here to mosaic and I'm going to choose my ellipses here, and this is going to be the first mask, and you're going to see it gives me a new shape. I'm going to take that shape and I'm going to resize it a little bit smaller. So I'm only taking the student's face, and I'm going to put this over the student's face, and I'm going to change a couple of settings here really quickly. So to the right here, in my effects control, I'm going to change my horizontal blocks to at least 30 to 40. I'm going to start with 40. And 40 for my vertical blocks. That's going to change the pixelation. So you see the pixels changed here, and you can expand those or reduce those as much as you want. And then I'm going to change my feathering here, which softens the edges. So I'm going to click and drag this to about 40 as well, soften the edges of that pixelation. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click a feature that essentially begins to track the student's movement throughout the video. I first want to make sure that my timeline here is adjusted so that my blue line for the timeline of my video is at the very beginning of my video. And then I'm going to want to click the play button or advance here. And this is going to begin to track the student as it moves throughout the video. So if they turn their head or gesture side to side or move, that blur shape here is going to follow the student and stay on them as they move throughout this. This could take some time, so it's one of those things that you can click and then navigate away from this and work on something else for a hot minute, have a conversation, catch up on your email, and come back to this later. You're actually going to repeat this process for every student's face that you need to blur. So if you're looking to blur more than one face, we're going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to go back to our effects. We're going to search again for mosaic, or you can keep that panel open. Click and drag it again, and we're going to add another little shape over another student's face and do the same thing. Adjust the pixelation, adjust the feathering, which is just the softening around the edges, and then we're going to click play again as it maps the movement of the next student. Okay, so now that we see the video is done, my timeline has now popped to the end of my video. So I'm going to drag this back to the beginning, and I'm going to watch the video and make sure that it actually tracks the student. Just double check my work. So I'm going to press spacebar to advance the video. Now we're watching the video. We're seeing that the pixelation is staying with the student, so you can't identify them. We're watching that advance all the way. All right, so our pixelation is effectively staying in place. It's tracking the student as it should. Oh, look, caught a little bit right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to exactly where that failed to pick up the student face as he moved a little bit here. And I'm going to just make that a little bit wider. We're going to add that keyframe. And play from the next keyframe. Again, it's going to track the student's movement for the rest of the video. All right, now we're going to go ahead and backtrack. We're going to watch from here, play. Great, and the video is effectively working. So I'm going to come all the way back to the beginning of my video. If I do need to add this for another student, again, I'm going to take that mosaic block, I'm going to drag it back onto my video, and you're going to see this is my first mosaic block. I just did it. Second mosaic block. We're going to do the same thing and repeat. So we're going to create an ellipse mask. We're going to size that down for the next student, place it over their face. We're going to change the blocks to at least 30, 40. I'm going to start with 40 here, and my feathering up to about 30. Okay, can no longer see the student, and I'm going to do the exact same thing and repeat the process. Track the selected mask forward. So now it's going to follow just that student, and both of these students will have blurred identities. So you're going to just repeat that process as many times as you need to block those students' faces. When you're finished with your video, you're going to navigate up here to export. You're going to take your video, you're going to rename that video to whatever it is that you use to identify this video here. Right, video 1, we're going to keep it at H.4264. We're going to keep that setting here, and we're just going to say export, and export your video. You don't need to do anything else. This is your video, and it will have blurred all of the students' faces that you have identified ahead of time as needing to be blurred out.